So to get started today, we're going to talk about the secrets of mixing new purchase decor with unique thrift finds. So we can work to curate our gardens and design them, and we can blend these items together beautifully. So are you wondering where I shop for my thrifted garden decor or my new store-bought finds? I'm going to share the places I find my garden decor. Most of my garden finds have been purchased in the last 2 to 3 years. So it doesn't take very long to curate your garden to have beautiful garden decor. I will also show you how I'm going to repurpose some of these items that maybe you wouldn't normally consider garden decor, but have worked out amazingly in the garden. Recently in our community post, I'd ask you what you are thrifting for this year. Over 50% of you are looking for thrifted garden decor. We'll cover items that I've added to my garden as well as sources that I am using for thrifting. In another poll, I'd ask you what you're wanting to add to your garden this year. And this could either be new store-bought or thrifted. Almost 40% are looking for statuary for their garden with a runner-up of seating like a small table and chairs. Both are gorgeous in the garden. So I'm curious, comment below, what are you wanting to add to your garden this year? Let's start with sources when looking for thrifted garden decor. Charity thrift shops like Goodwill, the Restore, Salvation Army, resale consignment shops, Facebook Marketplace, flea markets, outdoor summer markets, yard sales, estate sales, friends and family moving or cleaning out items, church rummage sales, auctions, online thrift resale type platforms such as Goodwill Auction or individual resale stores that have an online store. Now, when I'm buying new items, some of the sources I've used are Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Home Goods, Amazon, Kinsman Garden, Wayfair, both large and small garden centers, greenhouses. When you're thrifting, if you come across an item you like, but you don't like the color, the first thing I always think is, could it be repainted? Spray paint's super easy to work with, and you can personalize the color to anything of your liking in your garden. So this little garden statue was a resale store find. When I spotted her, she had a strange shade of gold painted all over her. After looking at her, I decided I could spray paint her a different color and make her blend beautifully into my garden. So if you see something you like, don't pass it up if you can change it with a little bit of spray paint. Recently, I posted in our community post that I had spotted a similar statue to mine at Home Goods. So I purchased my statue new at a big box store a few years ago. She's made out of a resin type material, but there was no option to buy a pedestal base for her when I purchased her. So I have been shopping for quite a while looking for a base that would work, that would match her and look really nice. Then one day when I was out thrifting, I came across a resin type end table with a glass top. I looked at it and kind of guesstimated, hoping that she would actually fit on top of it and it would work out. I've seen other tables like this when I have been out thrifting, and recently on Facebook Marketplace even seen a column type table that would work out in the garden. So this has worked out perfectly for her, and this is taking something that traditionally you wouldn't use as garden decor or think of it as garden decor, but repurpose it and it works great. An accent item is to thrift a mirror for your garden fence, garden wall, shed to reflect the beautiful garden blooms. They come in all shapes and sizes. Okay guys, I like this mirror too. Look at the detail on it. That is a cute mirror, and look how it's got that beveled edge. Can you see that? Now I have seen comments concerned about birds flying into the garden mirrors or maybe a fire starting from hanging a mirror in your garden. I have not had either of these issues with mirrors in my garden. I have multiple mirrors out on the garden fences tucked in as accent mirrors. But if this is a concern of yours, then skip this and don't do this in your garden. So when I was spray painting this, I wanted to turn it more gold, and this is how it looked last year in the garden. And as you can see, it's just tucked in. You barely don't even see it. It's not a focal point, it's an accent. This was an outdoor market find, and it's a garden obelisk. Also, you could use it as a cloche. I've used it as both, depending on what you're wanting and your size. So I've had it for a couple years and it just needs a little refresh. When you're out thrifting, look for these types of decor items because you'll find a lot of them out thrifting, especially the ones that have the old LED candles in them. They were very popular a few years ago and now are kind of going by the wayside. The bottom of those can easily be cut off and you can repurpose that out in your garden as a garden cloche, or depending on the style, you may be able to even set it on top of a planter, as I'm going to do with this one. So this was a yard sale urn set, and this is where friends and family that know what you're trying to add into your garden become extremely helpful. In passing, I had mentioned to a garden friend that I love urns, and a few weeks later, she texted me a picture of this set and said she was at a yard sale and was I interested? Absolutely, I was interested. So it helps when your friends and family are aware of what you're wanting for your garden, especially those larger items. At the same yard sale, I was able to pick up a concrete planter next to my rabbit statue that I purchased at Home Goods last year. So I'm taking something that was thrifted and something that was store-bought and putting them together, and they blend beautifully. And those gorgeous double implications look absolutely stunning. Now this is the first season that I'm doing an all over spray paint on the statue and the base. 2 seasons ago, I did a little touch up on her, but decided this year with the sun fading the resin, it was time to give her an all over color. And this will also help protect her. Once both of these are dry, I'll be moving them over in front of the emerald green arborvitaes next to the knockout roses. Every season, I do store her away for winter because of her material and then bring her out in the springtime. So while they're in storage, I purchased this urn set at Home Depot, and it's still available, and I'll link it below. And it also comes in black. This is cast stone and it's lightweight. I've had it now for 2 seasons and it's done really well because I keep it outside then year round in our winters with our snows. And right now I'm cleaning it out and getting ready to plant up bright, colorful annuals in the next week or so. This cute thrifted post box is great out in the garden to hold plant tags, garden gloves, small tools to have handy. I have this hanging on my fence, but it would also work in other places in the garden. So it was not real copper. It was definitely a decor item. So I'm just giving it a refresh. And two of the copper paints that I really like is the hammered copper spray paint and the metallic copper spray paint. And these work awesome on bird houses too. Bird cages, anything where you have a roof that you want to give it that copper roof look, you can spray paint it and achieve that look for a fraction of what a real copper roof would cost. These two ice cream parlor chairs were thrift finds. Garden chairs are perfect, not only to add to a little table, as I did with my market find little table, which was purchased new. It was not a thrift find, but I was able to blend something new with something thrifted to come up with a cute little table and chair set. And I spray painted them all the same color so they tie in well together. You can find chairs that you can tuck in your garden and use as a beautiful planter or put a statue on the little chair. If you're shopping and you only come across one chair you like, don't hesitate to go ahead and get it because you can still add it into your garden. You could use it as garden seating, maybe tuck it along a pathway or near a feature that you want to have a little chair at in your garden. If you opt to go with different chair types, maybe you find one at one place and a different chair at another place, you can unify them by painting them all the same color. Even though the styles may be different, they'll blend very well and be beautiful in your garden. Metal plant stands are another thing to be on the lookout for. These work great on the deck, on a patio. You can add a row of clay pots for geraniums or supertunias, and you'll have stunning color. And as you've already picked up from this video, this can be easily spray painted to change up the look too, to add to your garden. So don't pass these up when you're out thrifting either. So I'm going to take you on a walk around the back garden. Now, of course, I don't have much in bloom right now. There's a few bulbs blooming, but other than that, everything is starting to come out of dormancy. But I want to show you my thrift finds and also some of my garden decor. And if it is new and it's available, I have it linked below down in the description for you to shop if you see something you like. So let's get going today. And if you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe. So the little table and chairs looks cute back out in the garden. Now those tablecloths are not tablecloths. They are ladies' thrifted scarves. So I like to look for big cotton oversized scarves and pretty prints that look nice out in the garden and use those as layers on the little table. So if you're looking for something like that, you can find them thrifting for a couple dollars. So also in the garden, the roses are coming out, you can see, out of dormancy. I just fed the roses in the last week or two, and also the hydrangeas. Can't wait to see how they look this season. Those are some more thrifted mirrors. You can find those for a couple bucks and spray paint them any size to put on your fence or your shed or any place you have a spot to hang some mirrors. Now there's my little chair that goes with the other set. I had purchased that thrifting separately and usually put a little plant on that. And we've got the lady statue and her base all refreshed and backed by the arbs and behind the pretty knockout roses. Now these urns I purchased at Lowe's and they are still available, but I wanted pedestals for them and Lowe's didn't have anything. I did look other places, couldn't find anything that matched. So I ended up buying Lowe's bird baths, flipped the pedestal of the bath upside down and set the urns on that, and they work out fabulously. They're the perfect size for the bench. The bench was a online purchase, and I have one similar linked below in the description if you're needing a bench. Love that bench there in front of the arbs. Really makes it pop with the green behind it. So next, as we're moving on, we are going to look at the wall fountain. Now the wall fountain was a market thrift find that I opted to use as fence decor. I like this look, but it could be used as a fountain too. And then this was also a market find, the spear, and I needed a base to put it on a pedestal. So you're not going to believe what this is. It's actually a vase. Yes, I said a vase. It was kind of heavy concrete. I spray painted it black, flipped it upside down, and I'm using it as a pedestal and it works great. Now the fountain, this is my focal point in the center of my garden. This was an online purchase that I've also linked below. I've had this for about 3 or 4 years now, and the little statue at the base was a gorgeous thrift find. You can mix old and new beautifully together to create your own designed and curated garden. You can also take some of those non-garden items and repurpose them into your garden with amazing results. And if you're interested in adding hydrangeas or climbing roses to your garden this year, I have videos linked at the end for you. I did the research and put a bunch of options in each video that may be helpful when you're trying to go to that garden center and pick out which one you want. Have a great week.